What are you listening to?
The Get to Know podcast.
You're listening to the Get to Know
podcast.
Get to Know.
What's happening, guys? This is Liam, and you're locked into the Get to Know podcast. If you're listening right now, big up yourself. I appreciate you. Shout out to the first time listeners. Shout out to the last time listeners. Shout out to the regulars. Shout out to all the people following the socials. And shout out to the people interacting. Also, shout out to my Liverpool fans. It's a bit peak right now, but we move. Hopefully we get a result tonight. But yeah, got a great guest for you today. But before that, more big news. Man won another Warzone Battle Royale. Jeez. Yo, this one was a bit of a mad thing still. Let me talk you through it. Jay and I both get killed. I win my gulag. And then there's like 20 teams left when I come back in. And so obviously the map's pretty small. And I'm thinking, alright, I need to get back Jay because there's no way I'm going to win this by myself. So I did a contract to get the money to get him back. And then once I finished it, like, we realised that there actually wasn't a buy station within. So man has to go solo. Managed to get some good spots, capture Breda towards the end. And then when it was the final two, the opponent got caught in the gas. But I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to my Warzone gang. And yeah, man. Hopefully another victory is coming soon. But enough about me and Warzone. I have a great guest on today. Someone I've known for a long time. And someone that's really making a name for himself right now, and it's really great to see. So he was in, a really good job and he was doing well, but he decided that he wanted more. So he set up his own business and now he's gone full time with that and he's really enjoying it. He's doing something that he loves and he is actually writing a book this year as well. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, today I'm joined by a longtime friend. That's Shaun Davis, the founder of Erban Homes. There's some gems in this one, so yeah, looking forward to you hearing it. Okay, so I am here joined by Shaun Davis, the founder of Erban Homes. Shaun, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. So just had Christmas. How was it?
It was good, man. It was really good. It was a lot different, not seeing my family and things like that, but it was still good though, man. And you know what? This year it's been, like normally towards the build-up of Christmas, it's just all chaos, isn't it?
Yeah.
So nice this time, just having a bit more of a relaxed one.
Yeah, good, man. And the kids enjoyed it?
Oh, I loved it, man. They absolutely.
Oh, that's the thing, man. Like, Christmas is for them, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. As long as they're happy, I'm all good.
All right, man. So to kick things off, Shaun, we're going to go into the quick fire round. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'll give you two options, so you've just got to choose your preferred option. All right.
Okay, cool.
So, English or maths?
English.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Films or TV series?
Films.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Kanye West or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie. It's a hard one though, that is.
Spider-Man or Batman?
Spider-Man.
Instagram or Twitter?
Insta.
And finally, winter or summer?
Oh, summer. That's an easy one. I hate winter.
Mate, I'm the same, man. I'm the same.
That's
You'd be
easy.
surprised though. Winter's pretty popular with some people.
I know. Yeah, I like the sun, man. I like the warm weather.
Trust me. So, Shaun, talk to me about growing up and your career up until you starting Erban Homes.
Okay, so I left school and then went to college, done business, done 1 year of business at college, and then decided that this isn't for me. I just couldn't complete that second year. I done really well actually in the first year. I got a distinction, but I always wanted to work, and I never felt like I was that productive in the classroom. So I went to get a full-time job, and it was like a sales job selling like high-end clothing. And it was really good actually. It taught me a lot about sales and trying to like maximize the sale as well when you got the customer in front of you, things like that. And then from there on, I went to work for my dad. Dad's got a couple businesses, so I've got a lot of experience with that as well. And again, that was a sales related job as well.
What business did you go into work in?
That was, so basically he manufactures like Jamaican patties. So I was basically going around the country and from scratch, like building a route and basically just marketing these Jamaican patties and getting them in all shops all around the UK. And that was a fantastic experience because you get a lot of rejection, and that really helped me in terms of like starting my business, in terms of like the persistence that you need, the rejection that you face and things like that. That really set me up for success really at the time. Although I didn't really enjoy it at the time when I was doing that job, but looking back, it was definitely helped me. And then from there, I went to car sales. So I've always had a passion for cars. I spent like 7.5 years in the motor trade. Worked at Ford to start off with, then I moved up and went to work for premium brands. I worked for BMW, and again, fantastic experience. Loved it. Sold loads of cars, made some good money, but I never felt like I was fulfilled. I never felt like I was being used to my full potential. I felt like there was a lot more in me. So I always had a dream of having my own business, but I don't know, just waiting for the right time, I guess.
Yeah.
And just done a lot of research. I went to Miami in 2018, and then had the best holiday. It was so good. Came back, and then that was it. I just said to myself, you know what, I want to start my own business. Like this 9-to-5 business is not for me anymore. And then I started looking to property, and that was it. It was all go from there.
And how did you decide on property?
It was quite easy actually. So I've always heard conversations of family and things like that, and just people in general always talking about property ever since I was done this sort of research into it. And I wanted to. There was a quote by Warren Buffett, and it says, "If you don't find a way to make money while you're sleeping, you'll work till you die." And that quote really resonated with me. And so I was thinking, that's so true. What can I do to make money when I'm sleeping? And for me, I looked into quite a few different avenues. Property seemed to be the most stable. It's bricks and mortar. It'll always be there. It'll outlive me. It's a good way of building a legacy for my kids. You win both ways of property. You get the rental income, and you also benefit from the capital depreciation. So most properties double every 10 years. So even if you get a house and there's not really much, you're not really making much initially on the rental income, if you hold on to that property and sell it in the future, you're going to make most likely a nice lump sum of money. So that was it. So I found watched loads of YouTube videos, read quite a few different books, went a bit on a property course as well, and then it was literally go from there, just like tunnel vision, and just built it from there.
So that Warren Buffett quote, I was actually going to ask you about that. So why do you think it resonated with you so much?
Because I always had doubts about working to, basically putting my financial future in someone else's hands, basically. That's what you're doing when you're working. There's nothing wrong with working for someone else. I've got people that work for me, but for me personally, I just felt like, especially in the motor trade as well, where it's a very cutthroat business, you're putting your financial future in someone else's hands. So I wanted to basically take control over it as well. But then at the same time, when I went to Miami and I seen that sort of lifestyle and the way they was living and things like that, and it just basically seemed just being in another country, and watching their culture and things like that, and learning about the different way they do life. It made me think, I want to be able to experience that more. I want to basically build a business that can still operate, basically. That's, even when I'm not in it. And properties, for me, is a perfect thing to do that, because once you've got tenants in the property, there's nothing else for you to do other than maintenance. But then I've got a team that can do that as well. So for me, it was a no-brainer getting into property.
And how did you come up with the name Erban Homes?
So Erban Homes, it was actually Ashley that came up with that name. So she used to have a business called Urban Dance House as well, and and then we just thought, like, one day we was thinking, because the name wasn't originally Erban Homes, it started off being SD Property Solutions, but that was just literally a quick name, because sometimes when you start a business, you can spend so much time consumed on names and website. You just wanted to get yourself out there, get the business registered. So I started the business, I named it SD Property Solutions, because I couldn't think of a name. And then when we actually got a few properties, we were getting our tenants and things like that, we felt like the word urban just sounded right for the brand. So we've done a total rebrand, and it just fits nicely with the sort of the way we designed the properties. It's got like an urban edge to it as well. And it just works nicely for it.
So tell me about the services that the business offers.
Yeah, so there's quite a few different services actually. So one of them is a property sourcing, so it's actually property trading that we do. And what that is quite a simple cash flowing business. You can make money quite quickly with it as well. So it's a very good way of sort of building capital to then invest in actually buy properties. So what property trading is, you're typically finding a below market value property. So I'll go out and I'll basically build relationships with agents, or try and get like direct to vendor leads, or direct to the property owner, and people that want to sell their property very quickly. And we basically offer like up to 85% of the market value for like a quick sale. So then I'm going to worry about people traipsing through their house and 1 in 3 properties falling out, and the average process taking 6 months. And then on the other side, what I then do, I've built up an investor database of people that actively want to invest in property, want to build wealth, and invest. And obviously what it is, these people are normally busy professionals, so they haven't got the time to be going out there and building relationships. If that's not your full-time job, sometimes it can take like 30 viewings to get one good property. That's how time consuming the process is. But now I've built the relationship with all these different agents over the last few years. I'm in a fortunate position where they now give me deals, and I get a lot of off-market deals coming to me and things like that. And then I'm able to basically sell that to the investor and basically charge a fee essentially for my services, and also offer like a 3-step service. So basically find the property for them. We'll then project manage the refurb, and then finally, if the property's in the West Midlands, we've got in-house management team as well. So we'll actually manage the property for them as well. It's almost like we're like a one-stop. That's what we're trying to be anyway, like a one-stop shop for property. That's just one side of the business. The second side of the business is we do like commercial leases on properties. So what we'll do is find a property that typically quite run down, tired landlord that doesn't really have the sort of love for the property anymore, basically, and he may be having a few issues. And what we'll actually do, we'll contact the landlord, or the landlord will contact us, and then we'll basically make him an offer to basically do a commercial lease on the property. So we'll just lease the whole building off him. We'll control it as if we own it. He gets a guaranteed rent, and then we then refurb the property out of our own money, and we then tenant the property. And yeah, that's been a fantastic strategy for us. That's the strategy that we started off even before the sourcing, and we've literally built that. We've managed to build a good portfolio of HMOs all over the West Midlands by doing that strategy, and alongside doing the property sourcing as well.
Okay, so how many properties do you have now?
I've got 18 now.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's some growth.
Yeah, man. It's been very challenging, but in business you've just got to stay persistent. You've got to stay consistent. You've got to know why you're doing it as well. That's a massive thing, because if you don't know why you're doing it, you're not going to be passionate about it. And if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to have the commitments that you need to be able to succeed in anything that you're doing. So it's very important that your why is very strong, basically.
So initially, I know you were running the business whilst working full time, selling cars. So talk to me about how it was balancing the two roles.
Oh. It was so tough. It was really tough. So, but you know what? I say to people now, looking back, building a business, because selling cars is such a demanding job, and I was selling a lot of cars. I was always busy. Sometimes I was sitting in front of a customer. I could be in front of the customer for like 3 hours trying to source, trying to sell my car. I was selling like 50, 60 grand, 100 grand BMWs. So it wasn't like a light purchase. And but what it made me, I think, work smart. Basically, I had to work very smart. Everything in the business had to be running like a military operation in the background while I was at work, because I wasn't able to do viewings. I had to outsource from the get-go, and looking back at it, it was the best thing that I did, because what normally happens is I've got like a quote that I always say to people, and it's basically work hard but don't forget to work smart. The worst thing you can do is start a business and end up on a continuous treadmill. You end up burning yourself out. So for me, the key is being able to step up the treadmill whenever I want to without having any sort of financial impact. And that's what I was forced to do that in the start. So when you start a business, everyone's very hands-on, and it's hard to find that balance where you come to a point where, okay, you've got the experience now, you need to start outsourcing, you need to start actually building the business and working on the business instead of in the business. So I would, when I was at BMW, it just enabled me to do that. I had to outsource everything, absolutely everything. I had to just run everything from my phone, so that everything's all mobile and I can just operate it from there, and it's fantastic. So even now that I'm in it full time and I've expanded the business, I still operate like that, and that's how we've been able to scale very quickly. Because if I didn't do that, if I was too involved doing little things, decorating properties and doing all the maintenance and operations and all that, it's too time consuming, and then that takes your eye off the ball in terms of expanding the business and actually ensuring that the operations is running properly as well.
You're listening to the Get to Know podcast.
So talk to me about what that feeling was like when you finally were able to leave your full-time job and just work on the business solely.
Oh man, I can't even explain. Like, I can't even put into words the feeling of joy. Just like what I did, it was so good, because I was so tunnel visioned in basically ensuring that this business would work, I put a set of dates in my phone. I put a date in my phone. I told people, I told my family, I said, this is the day I'm gonna leave my job. And people thought I was mad because you just started a business, you ain't making no money. This is the day I'm leaving my job, and people, but then that just made me work harder. I thought, you know what, I'm working towards a goal. This is the date I'm gonna hand my notice. This is the day I'm gonna actually leave my job. And when that day was getting nearer, I was getting more excited. I was thinking, oh, okay, this is it. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And then didn't go to plan. So I actually missed the date. So I was quite down actually, because the date was here, and I was thinking, okay, I'm quite far from where I need to be. I can't. It's too much of a leap for me to leave right now. But then what happened? Because I had that accountability, and people were actually asking me, "Oh, Shaun, I put this in my diary. He's meant to leave in today." I was like, "Yeah, things ain't going to schedule." But what that did, that made me accountable, and that made me work even harder. So I was able to leave 2 months after that date that I set, and in them 2 months, the way we expanded the business was just. It was just phenomenal. It was things just started happening, and because my output was more, because I was under pressure basically. I knew that I needed to do this, and that feeling of being able to overcome that as well, and then hand my notice and just know that I'm going to be working for myself. It's just I just felt so fulfilled and so happy.
So would you say that you work better under pressure?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I work so much. I've proved it time and time again. Like sales, I've always been in sales jobs, and sales, especially car sales, it's very, very cutthroat business. If you're not good, you're on performance review, and then performance review, then they'll get you out. It's as simple as that. And it's like, it's the same with most sales jobs. Most sales jobs, you can make a lot of money. You normally get a small basic, and then you get a lot of commission. You can make like 3 times the amount in commission. It's very, very cutthroat. But that was really good for me. That training was it makes you, puts you in a place where you can't take your foot off the gas. You've got it all, because you feel like when you work in them big corporate jobs, I always felt like my job was at risk. Even though I was a top sales guy, but I always felt like, man, like if I don't hit my target next month, they're gonna get rid of me. That was all my mindset. So I've always been under pressure. To basically ensure that I've get the money's coming in, like the sales are coming in, and I've got that same mindset in my business now. So I don't take my foot off the gas, and my foot's always on the gas. I'm always looking for that next deal, and it's so important, because as soon as you get complacent, you get comfortable. What happens then? Your foot comes off the gas, and then things start going pear-shaped quickly. And but yeah, COVID is as well. I was under some serious pressure, so I left my job. I only left my job in February this year, at the end of Feb. When I left my job, there was no talk in this country about any sort of coronavirus, anything like that. And then a few weeks later, I was in lockdown. At the time, my main source of leads was from estate agents. So when I left my job, I was thinking, okay, I need to get some cash flow coming in. So I was going to focus on the sourcing side, property trading, and all my leads were coming in from estate agents. But the first lockdown, the estate agents shut. So I was like, man, what am I going to do now? So I was under some serious pressure then to ensure that I had to think of other strategies in order to generate multiple streams of leads, so that the business can carry on. I can still build it throughout the lockdown.
So how did you go about that?
I basically turned to social media. So I thought I was getting my leads from the estate agents. They're now shut. So I had to do it from social media ads, where I was basically targeting landlords directly. And it was actually much easier doing it that way, because it's almost like you're getting directly to the person. You're cutting out the middleman. So rather than me trying to put my offer out to the estate agents, and then the estate agents then goes to the landlord, I'm going direct to the landlord. So it worked so much better actually. And then, because I was able to be innovative and generate a new stream of leads, when the estate agents reopened again, and I had the estate agent and the direct marketing, it was fantastic.
And have there been any other issues that you've encountered, or was that the main one, would you say?
The other issue that I've encountered is it's just tenants getting made redundant, and or tenants being isolated and things like that, and catching COVID themselves, and can't work, or there might be an agency and things like that. And I've had quite a few tenants, because we've got like over 80 tenants now, and I've had quite a few tenants that have lost their job and things like that. So that's been really tough dealing with that. that side of it as well. Um, I mean, you get some opportunities as well. So you know, people are people at Naso. You get some people that just thought, okay, they put the eviction ban on as well. So basically, landlords couldn't evict tenants for 6 months. It technically means if tenants don't want to pay the rent, it's like, well, we can't do nothing for 6 months. We're just gonna, like, as a landlord, just take it. And so we had a couple of tenants that tried to use that to their advantage as well, and take advantage of that opportunity. But over that, we've just been just pushing forward, pushing forward. I've developed this sort of mindset now that in business, you have to sort of develop this mindset that you can't let little things bother you in the business. Every day, you know, the business is growing, and the problems, you get more problems. The bigger the business, the scale of the business, the problems don't go away. They get more. You get more of them. And if you're gonna get, and this used to happen when I first started the business. If I'm gonna get down, or I'm gonna get upset and get my emotion get too emotionally involved in the business, it just means that it's gonna have a bit of friction with me trying to expand, because my mindset's not gonna be in the right place to sort of see them opportunities. So I've almost learned to develop a thick skin, basically, so that you can just, even when you got problems and people trash the property, people don't pay you rent, and it's not all glitz and glam and high fives every day. It's very hard, but yeah, you just got to keep pushing forward, and then it all works out in the end.
So, how has your life changed since becoming self-employed?
Oh, massively! I work 10 times harder. So a lot of people, I see so many people want to go into, like, become an entrepreneur, and they think it's going to be, you know, you're working for yourself, so you can give yourself time off, and you can, you know, I'm still building a business, but I love it though. That's the thing. So don't feel sorry for me. I literally love it. It becomes a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle when you're self-employed. It's no longer a job, and becomes a lifestyle because you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? I get up every day, and I'm literally buzzing just to get started, because I'm building a legacy. Finally doing something for myself and for my family. So yeah, it feels good, and when I'm putting all the hours in that I'm doing, I know that I'm working towards a bigger picture. It's not always going to be like this. I'm not going to be working, you know, so hard when I'm 65, you know, waiting to retire. I want to be retiring, like, within, you know, by 35. I want to be really taking my foot off the gas, and on a beach somewhere chilling. So I'm putting the hours now. So yeah, it's all good, really.
And what do you enjoy the most about running the business?
I enjoy the satisfaction of helping people. That for me. And you know, it's good when you work for a company and someone talks good about you. When you know, you get good feedback. But now I'm getting people talking good about me, but they're also talking good about my company, and I'm thinking that's something that I've built from scratch, and someone that's changed someone's life. We're creating affordable housing for people, for the local community. We're helping people out. These people that contact us for these, you know, when we do the direct marketing for people that want to sell their houses, a lot of the time, unfortunately, they are in unfortunate situations where they might have lost their job, they might be going through a divorce. These unfortunate situations, and they haven't got the time to be able to, haven't got time to, or the patience to be able to go to an estate agent and wait 6 months, or people traipsing the property, wasting their time. They need to sell the property right now, and I give them a solution that I'll buy the property off them right now. We've got investors waiting. And that feels good, and you know, to be able to help someone out of that situation. So yeah, I enjoy that, and I do enjoy working coming from the corporate world, where there's so much politics in the workplace. I love that now. Now with myself, there's no politics. I'm not involved in any sort of drama or anything like that. I can just literally, there's no limitations. There's no one stopping me. I can just keep on going and just keep building the business.
So, what have been your highlights so far?
My highlight so far is, it's hard to say. There's been so many. Um, Probably say, you know what, expanding the team, actually. That's been my highlight, because I was quite nervous with that because you sort of think it's a lot of risk when you take someone on. When you start paying someone, it's a lot of risk. You think, are they going to be passionate and things like that? Are they going to do the job correctly? Are they going to wreck your brand? I've put my heart and soul into this company, into this business, and you think, someone can ruin the reputation if they work for you, they represent your company. And when it's your business, you do take it personal. So I think the team I've got around me are fantastic, and that's the highlight for me because it takes a lot of pressure off me. If without my team, what I mean, I'm only back in. I've just created a job for myself basically, and it's going to be too stressful for me to run by myself. So yeah, the highlight is creating a team that's as passionate about me, and they can see the vision and where we're looking to go with this.
Yeah, I can understand how important that is, man. Earlier I was watching an interview with Brian Chesky. So
Okay.
he's one of the founders of Airbnb, and like he actually, when he did all the recruiting himself for so long, so he said like pretty much every person that came in, he was interviewing, and then he must have interviewed like the first few hundred people that worked for the company. Like he did that himself, like
Yeah.
to the point where his colleagues were like, please to stop interviewing and like other people could do this. But he said something along the same lines, because he said like the culture of the company was really important to him. So just to make sure that he got that right, like he wanted to do all the interviewing, so he'd meet all the people himself. So it's kind of interesting that you kind of said something similar about making, how important it is to have the right people, because you're in the same field, and but you've started your own business, so it's close to you. So
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
interesting that you said that.
Yeah. It's important.
So, who've been your inspirations?
Oh, so many. So I'd say my dad's my biggest inspiration. He's basically built a couple of businesses as well. I built a few businesses as well, and just seeing him obviously growing up, and we had it really hard growing up as well, and seeing the transformation from him building the business and really persevering and putting his heart and soul into it, and then his business is becoming a success. It sort of motivated me to think, I can do the same thing as well, and if I persevere, I can make something of myself as well. So yes, my dad has been my initial sort of inspiration, but I've got many. I watched quite a few different entrepreneurs. There's a guy called Ed Milet. He's based in America, and yeah, I watched a lot of his stuff on YouTube, and he's got a podcast as well. And yeah, just get a lot of he just talks a lot about mindset and persevering and things like that. And that's the sort of thing you need to be listening to when you run a business. You've got to watch what you consume on social media, the information you read in the books you read, what you're listening to. It's so important because that subconsciously will affect your mindset. So I just literally try and consume a lot of content basically just to ensure that my mind is in the right place, and I'm always learning as well.
Obviously, I've known you for a long time. I know your dad as well, and it's honestly no surprise to me that you've gone on to become an entrepreneur. After your dad's journey, like honestly, I kind of always knew that that was what you were destined to do, man. Like you've always just had that mindset.
Yeah.
So even when you were working at BMW and you were smashing it, you were selling a lot of cars. Even then, even though you enjoyed it, I kind of always knew that you'd go on to do your own thing, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's all good, man. I'm shocked myself. It just shows that anyone can do it. And that's why, like, I speak a lot about mindset and believing in yourself as well, because I'm just a normal person, and I just literally believed in myself. And you know what? I did want to start a business from many years ago, but the truth is I wasn't ready for it because I didn't truly believe in myself. I didn't truly believe that I could make an impact and things like that, and I could basically run a business. But the truth is anyone can. It all starts with your mindset, and once you believe in yourself and you believe it can happen and you're passionate about something, you're literally good to go from there.
Yeah, man. And I guess that motivation as well that you had, like, I remember when you told me, I think, when you first started the business, you said that you wanted to go to your son's assembly, but you couldn't. Tell me that about again,
Yeah.
and for the
Oh,
listeners.
yeah. So that was a turning point for me when I thought, you know what, this isn't for me in terms of like a 9 to 5. So basically, my son had an assembly, And what it was, he was getting like an award for like the best improved student of the year. So it's quite a big thing. So the school phoned me and said, okay, this is happening on Friday at 9 o'clock. But it clashed with a sales event. So the rule was, when you got a sales event at these companies, these corporate companies, you can't have any sort of time off. So I literally said to them, you know what, this is my son's, it's quite a special moment for me. Can I go? Do you mind if I go and see him get his awards? At 9 o'clock, it's early in the morning. It's only gonna take 20 minutes, and then I come to work straight after. Bearing in mind, I was always overachieving on my target, so it wouldn't have affected the day. I probably would have sold. I probably would have still sold the car. I would have rearranged my diary and worked overtime if I needed to get the job done. And I said, no, you can't do it. You can't go. And that just, oh man, that cut me deeply. And I said to myself, you know what, I will never miss another assembly again of my son. And that was it. I thought, I've got to get out of here now.
You're listening to the Get to Know podcast.
With the business on social media, you're keen to stress that you are a family man, and you'll often include them in your posts. Like, I enjoyed that video with Tyrese giving his views on that property.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of entrepreneurs tend to keep that side of their life separate. So why is it so important for people to know that, you are a family man and you do it for them?
You know what, I more do it for my kids really, because they have an interest in the business. So a lot of the time they're with me in the office. They see me taking the calls, and they have a lot of questions that they ask. And from a young age, and I feel like if they're interested from a young age, I always think to myself, how can I teach them about business? How can I get them interested in the business, and also get them involved? And I feel like as well, from a brand point of view, people do want to know who's behind the brand. So business has changed a lot in the last decade. So before, you used to have a lot of big corporate companies, and you wouldn't really know who's behind the brand, and people would keep their life very private and things like that. Whereas I'm quite open. My kids go on there all the time. They come on the business page. They're everywhere, and it's almost like they're involved. And everyone loves it. Everyone literally loves it. Everyone always asks people. I get customers saying, "Oh, how's Tyrese?" and that video was really good. And it's good as well, because one thing if you want to try and sell something to someone, a big thing is trust. Someone needs to trust you before they invest in you. If you're selling something, I'm sourcing properties, it's a lot of money, it's a big investment, people are putting their life savings into some of the properties that I'm sourcing, and they want to feel like, okay, can I trust this guy? And if they don't know who's behind the brand, it's like there's going to be a lot of friction behind it. But if they've been watching me on social media, I'm sharing my life, they know my kids, my kids are getting involved, they almost feel like, I actually like this person, but I feel like I know him as well. And then when they want to, when I'm talking to them, it's almost like they know me already, so it's like half the job's done. So yeah, it's really important for me, and I do enjoy it as well, like getting them involved and seeing their reaction and things like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know you've said, like, in your Q&As that you do on Instagram, you often say, that building a brand is important. So how did you go about building a brand for yourself? You know
what, just be myself. That's literally it. Like, I'm quite a positive person anyway. I do anything that I learn, it's all about giving value. So I basically just share my journey. I share anything that I'm learning, I just basically share it on social media. And it just gives people confidence in you. They can see, and it's even like little things like I share a lot when I'm going to the gym, or when I'm exercising, or when I'm doing bike riding, and I'll often talk about, I don't feel like doing it, but I'll do it anyway. And that shows a lot to people about the sort of person you are as well, because you can relate that back to business, and the same in business. You know what I mean? I'm not just go. Sometimes you don't want to do something, but you've just got to do it. And for me, that just shows my character really. So yeah, I just basically try and get everything out there.
So I know you see reading as vital to success. So what books would you recommend to someone that's looking to kind of take a similar path to yourself?
Oh, okay. My favorite book is The Magic of Thinking Big. That is a game changer. You need to be thinking bigger, and once you think big, your life changes. You're only going to go as far as you think. Even with my business now, if I'm thinking small, no matter I'm the leader of the business, so everyone else is going to think small. The business is not going to grow. If I'm thinking big, things are going to be much easier. We're going to expand a lot quicker. The goals are going to be bigger as well. That's a fantastic book. Another book is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki as well. That's another good one. You've got property books as well. I'm trying to think which ones. There's Simon Zucci, Property Magic as well. It's another good one. Currently I'm reading High Performance Habits. That's a fantastic book as well. Because you don't decide your future. You decide your habits, and your daily habits decide your future. Just looking at the what high performers do, what sort of habits do they do, what do they do when they wake up, how do they spend their day, how do they ensure that they are being productive. There's one more book as well, I'm trying to think. I'll come back to me in a minute. There's another book as well, but I can't think of what it is now. I can't think of the name.
So on the subject of books, I saw that you're writing your own. I'm really looking forward to reading that. Talk to me about how that came about and what can we expect from it.
So again, it just comes from sharing my journey and just giving value, just trying to get people that to realise that they can achieve anything that they want to. So that book is going to be all about entrepreneurship, everything that I've learned. There's going to be a lot of sales related content in there as well, from what I've learned in the last 11 years being in sales, and just my experience in property. So there'll be a lot of entrepreneur content, there'll be a lot of mindset as well, and there will be quite a bit of property content about property sourcing, about doing commercial leases on properties, and how other people can get into property as well. It's a fantastic industry to get into. So that's what it'll be about. I'm currently writing it. Hopefully it should be released sometime next year, but I'm looking at August next year.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people that maybe have an idea for a business but they're yet to execute it? What's important for them to do?
I would always say work on your mindset firstly. Make sure your mindset's in the right place, because business it's so hard. Every day there's a challenge. So your mindset needs to be in the right place. You need to be very precise about your goals and what you're looking to achieve and where you're looking to go with the business. You also need to have a strong why. So you need to think, okay, why am I doing this business? Does this business relate to my values? Does it relate to my purpose as well? Like my purpose is creating value and also helping people, and that's what I do every day in my business. And that's why now I've never been happier. I've never felt so fulfilled in my life, because I now feel like I'm pursuing my purpose on a daily basis, and that's them values I can bring them into the business, and because they align with each other, things are just a lot easier. If you're doing a business, it doesn't really align with your values, doesn't really align with your purpose, are you going to be that committed to it? Is it just going to be a 1-year job? Are you going to give up when the times get hard and when you've got all the challenges? So that's the things that you need to look at really for anyone that's starting a business.
All right, and what does success look like for you?
Success looks like for me when I can basically leave the business. So I next year, hopefully, I want to start like traveling and going abroad more. COVID allows us. For me, I'd say success looks like to me when I can basically go away. This is on a personal level. By the way, I've got lots of different meanings of success, but on a personal level, success to me, I feel like I'm going to be successful when I can go on holiday for like a month, and I can basically leave the business and the business still performs without me being involved. Then I know that I've built a proper business then.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so Shaun, we're going to move on to the trivia section. So I'm gonna ask you 5 multiple choice questions regarding property. So we'll see how you get on.
Yeah.
All right. So first question: what is the overall average house price in the UK? Is it A 180,000, B 220,000, or C 250,000?
I'm gonna go with 180.
It is actually 220.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
It's so hard because it's just like north and south. It's like a massive difference in the house prices.
Yeah, trust me, there's a question on that later on as well, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so how many people rent privately in England and Wales? A 1.8 million, B 3.2 million, or C 4.3 million?
I'm going with C.
4.3 million.
Yeah.
That is correct. Well done.
Yes.
So, next question. The UK borough with the highest house price was Kensington in London, and the lowest was Burnley in Lancashire. What is the difference between the average house prices in those two boroughs? Is it A, 350,000, B, 867,000, or C, 1,226,000?
I'm gonna go with 800,000. The B.
It's actually C.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Innit?
Man.
All right, next question. How long have private renters in England and Wales, on average, lived in their properties? Is it A, 2 years, B, 4 years, or C, 5 years?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with C.
5 years?
Yeah.
It's actually B, 4 years.
Oh
Close.
man, thinking 4 years. I'm thinking B and C as well.
All right, last question. During the last 3 years, what did Zoopla find has been the most popular home improvement? A new kitchen, B, a new bathroom, or C, a new central heating boiler?
I'm gonna go with new central heating boiler.
It's actually B, a new bathroom.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I thought that was a trick question.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. All right, man. Now, just before we go, we've recently done the Apple Music. You know, they do their like the replay, or Spotify does their rap. So it's like the most listened to artist of the year. Do you know who yours was, or if you don't, who do you think it was?
I think it'd probably be Drake, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably Drake.
yeah, same. Well, Drake was second in mine, but he's in there every year.
Wow, yeah. Who was first in you for you?
It was actually the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, by quite some distance as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
who who else you been listening to?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't really listen to much music, you know. I put the radio on,
Yeah.
but a lot of time when I'm in the car, it's just like podcasts or audio books and things like that. So, um, yeah. So like sometimes I'll go on Spotify and I love R&B music. So
Yeah.
I'll just go listen to like an R&B playlist and just put that on. But yeah, but I'd probably say out of that, it's a lot of the music that I do listen to is Drake.
No, I remember when I used to go to yours when we was younger. Like I remember playing Midnight Club 3, and I remember the Alicia Keys album was always going to be always
Oh
playing
yeah.
for it.
Wow. You've always had a good memory.
Oh mate, tell me about it, man.
That is
Well, you know what? I've been the same. You know about podcast because looking at my music stats for this year, like I've listened to a lot less music, and that's because podcasting's kind of just taken over for me. And like all the working from home, I've just been listening to podcasts. So there've probably been like at least 10 different podcasts that I've started listening to this
wow.
year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Podcast.
man, they're really blowing up, innit?
Yeah, they are, man. A game changer. And back in the day, someone said a podcast. It's like, wow, what's that? And yeah, and now it's like, you know, just you've got some podcasts have got more listeners than BBC.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy, man. Honestly,
yeah.
because I remember when I was at uni, for one of my assignments, I made a podcast, and this was what 7, 8 years ago. And like even at the time, I was like, okay, I vaguely knew what it was, but that was it. But it's how it's blown over the past couple of years. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's good.
All right, man. Well, before we go, is anything you want to say? Any last message to the listeners?
Now, just thank you for listening. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram. It's @_Shaun_Davis, and Shaun is SHAUN. Davis is DAVIS.
Okay, and the business, if you want to follow that.
Yes, that one is @Erban Homes, and it's Urban with an E, so it's ERBAN Homes. That's on Insta. You can get us on there, or you go to our website, it's, urbanhomes.co.uk.
All right, perfect, man. Shaun, thanks a lot for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to seeing big things from you. Looking forward to the book as well.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
All right, respect, bro.
You're listening to the Get to Know podcast.
Shout out Shaun, man. That's a long-time friend of mine. Really happy to see him doing well. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. Bro, you can see his mindset from his posts. Very motivational. Type of post that if you're lying in bed at say 10 o'clock, you'll read his post and believe me, you're getting out of bed in the next 5 minutes. But check out the range on this podcast though. Last week I've got Jim on talking about how the government is treasonous and, you know, the Magna Carta and birth charts. And then this week we've got Shaun on, completely different vibe. But that's what man is going to be bringing for you. We're only 6-7 episodes in. And yeah. I'm trying to bring you a wide range of guests, different perspectives, different stories. So yeah, man, more of that to come. Now, I have another TV show to recommend for you. This show came out a couple of weeks ago. I just watched it, finished it a few days ago, and it's a banging show. So it's called 000. Now you can find this on Sky Atlantic. Basically, what it is, it follows a cocaine shipment from Mexico to Italy. So you've got the three parties. So obviously you have the cartel, and then you have the American shipping company transporting it for them, and then you have the Italian mafia as well. So it's set in 3 locations, so it's in 3 different languages, and it's proper gritty, man. Like, you know those shows where you just know that it had a huge budget, like sick explosions, six scenes, like action packed, but also that, you know, that sort of eerie sense about it, you know, like a bit like Breaking Bad or Ozark, where it's got that it's just got that eerie vibe. But yeah, man, it's sick. You should check that out. 8 episodes, about an hour-ish each. So yeah, man, check that out. Sky Atlantic. I'd love to know if any of you have actually watched these shows that I've recommended. If so, let me know. #GetToKnowPodcast. Yeah, I want to know what you think of those. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it from me today. Shout out for tuning in as always. Much love. I want to shout out Jurgen Klopp. especially right now. You'll never walk alone. Shout out Larry David. Shout out Zara Sultana. She's one of the only MPs I look at and think, yeah, you're a real one. Also, shout out man like Shawnee for leaving me a review. Big man ting, I sees ya. Yeah man, I'll be back next week. Once again, love for tuning in. Safe.